And this is the final question in our practice assessment, number 7. Of course, we're continuing to do things that have to do with so we are continuing to work with scale drawings. We have Lindsay is making a scale drawing of her living room. We know that it's a rectangle with an actual length of 12 meters and width of 9 meters. And she's going to be using a scale of 1 to 5. So the first thing we need to do is draw and label the dimensions of her living room using this scale 1 to 1.5. So I'm actually going to, because I know that I should be doing this in centimeters, I'm going to say that 1 centimeter is the same as 1.5 kilometers. So that's what it tells me here. That's the scale that I'm using. So I need to do 1 for the length and 1 for the width. So I don't know how many centimeters that 9 kilometers is going to be. I'll start with that one. So I have to say to myself, how many times does 1.5 go into 9? Or what times 1.5 equals 9? I like to think about this as if it's money. So I like to think about this as $1.50, because a lot of times that's easier for people to manage in their heads. How many times does $1.50 go into $9? If you know that at $2.50s, if I multiply this times 2, it equals 3. And how many 3s are in 9? You know there's 3 of those. So I've got 2 and 3, so that means I know that there's 6. 1.5 times 6. So that's how many kilometers there is. The next thing that we're going to do is the 12. So we're going to do it the same way. 1 centimeter is equal to 1.5 kilometers. And we know that we're looking for 12 kilometers. So the thing that we don't know is up here. So I'm going to use my same strategy. How many 1.5s are in 12? Well, I've already done a lot of the work here, thinking about it like this. And so I know that $2.50s gives me $3. There's 4 sets of those in 12. So that means that what I'm looking for here is 8. So that means my my scale drawing is going to be done here. I'm going to label it. Obviously, you should have an easier time doing this using your rulers. But I know that this is 6 centimeters. Oh, sorry about that. I know that this is going to be 6 centimeters by 8 centimeters. And that's my scale drawing. Okay, so moving right along, the living room door we know is 0.5 meters wide. We now know how big it is in the scale. So I'm going to do the same exact thing. I've got 1 centimeter is equal to 1.5 meters. And I know that I've got some unknown number here, and I've got 0.5 meters here. So this one looks a little bit more difficult because I need to figure out what do I multiply 1.5 by to get 0.5. So you should notice, hopefully, that 0.5 is 1/3 of my 1.5. So that means, therefore, if I multiplied 1.5 times 1/3, I would get 0.5. So I, of course, would multiply this by the same thing. 1 times 1/3 would give me an answer of 1/3 centimeters. In the last part, we're going to do essentially the same thing, but this time we've got a couch that on the scale drawing is 3 centimeters by 1.5 centimeters. So again, set up my proportion. 1 centimeter is to 1.5 kilometers. This is equal to 3 centimeters over some number we don't know. So how do I get from 1 to 3? I know that's times 3. 1.5 times 3 is what we're going to do. 1.5 times 3. Well, I know that 3 times 1 is 3, and 3 times 0.5 is 1.5. So that means my answer here is going to be 4.5 kilometers. And then for the next one, I have to find the 1.5 centimeters. So this is going to look a little funny because I've got 1 centimeter over 1.5 kilometers. And that's equal to 1.5 centimeters over some number that we don't know. So I have to say to myself, what do I multiply 1 by to get 1.5? Of course, it's 1.5, so I'm multiplying times 1.5. So this might seem a little daunting to some of us to see that 1.5 times 1.5. I would suggest that you turn them into fractions. So this would be, each of these would be 1 1/2 times 1 1/2. In order to multiply them, I need them to be improper fractions. So 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 more is 3/2 times 3/2. Top with the top and the bottom with the bottom. 3 times 3 is 9. 2 times 2 is 4. So that is going to come over here where I have room. That is going to equal 9 over 4 is equal to, 9 goes into 4 2 times with 1 left over, 2 1/4. If I prefer for that to be in a decimal form, it would be 2.25 kilometers. And there's my 2 measurements for the couch.